Hi everyone, I'm Catherine, the artist behind Bigelow Fine Arts. How did last week go with the compass in Enchanted Forest? I'd love to know. I really do want to build a coloring community here. I hope this new format is working better. Let me know below. I won't be making any format changes in the middle of a series, but do let me know below so I know what you think. This is the second week of daily coloring in the Enchanted Forest, and I'll be working up some of the elements on the face of the compass. Check out the playlist if you want to follow along from the beginning. Otherwise, I've got some pencils sharpened and I'm ready to get started on this page. Join in and color along with me. I mentioned I had something different planned for the outer ring on the compass face, and today I'm filling it in with the walnut brown, just like the compass points. This section could also be colored the same final red as the gradient if desired, or really any color. I'm going in with a light hand and building up the layers. I'm going to be making use of a sheet of paper to cover the area under my hand to prevent smearing any colors onto other parts of the page, as well as to prevent getting my hand dirty, so I apologize for covering up parts of the work as I progress. I've zoomed out a little more this time to show the complete top half of the compass. The palette will have to move around a little so I can avoid hiding anything as I'm coloring. So this is going to be a much larger area than working up a quarter of the compass. I have chapter breaks if anyone wants to skip around and find a certain section. It is all about the layers here as I want to get a solid uniform coverage, but it really is slow going. About here, I began doubting my color choice as I couldn't remember if I used the dark sepia, the burnt sienna, or the walnut brown. Turns out dark sepia and burnt sienna together makes for a color similar to walnut brown. I ended up sticking with the walnut brown, but I did end up going over everything with the dark sepia to give the edge an extra richness. I'll be working up the top half of the compass before moving down to the bottom half and doing the same thing. After coloring the final ring on the front face, I'm going to move on to the little details on the face of the compass, like the leaves and the vine. I'm reusing some of the same palettes I used before as I really like the color combinations, especially for these ivy leaves. I might be working them up a little differently from the title page though. For the ivy, I'll begin with a base layer of the light green and add in a ring around the edge with a deep cobalt green, blending the edges a little with the light phthalo green. I wanted the center to stay light green, like the way a variegated leaf might look. I gave the leaf a final blend with the light green again to smooth out all the layers together. These are tiny leaves, and I'm not worried about getting too much of the darker color in the center. No one will really notice it except me. I decided to also work up the little leaves in the same color and in a similar fashion, as they are on the same vine as the ivy leaves. They also get a base layer of the light green, followed by a couple of flicks at the tip with the deep cobalt green. I then blended the two together with more light green. I wanted the North Star to stand out and to also match the color on the needle, the permanent carmine. I went in with a medium pressure and several layers to get a solid coverage in the star. The color is listed on the color chart at the beginning of the video, but not here, so as a reminder, I'm using the permanent carmine here for the star. Moving on to the oak leaves, I decided to work them up in the olive color palette I have used in the past. I began with a base layer of the earth green yellowish. I hit all the leaves since they are pretty small. I then came in with the pine green to darken up all the stems. In order to get a smooth finish, I went back in with the earth green yellowish to blend out the color a little and bring everything together. I was going to do the other leaves in the same color but changed my mind and decided to go with a two-tone color similar to the grass palette I had used on the first page. I came in with the light green as a base layer for all the leaves. These leaves are even smaller than the oak leaves and don't leave a lot of space for details, so I simply hit one side of the leaf with the permanent green to give the leaf some dimension. A final blend with the light green brings the colors together. I'm going to stop here for today. There are a few more elements left on the compass face that I will be working on tomorrow. I will also start working on the outer bezel as well. I hope you've been following along and enjoying the new format. Let me know below. I'd love to see how your compass is coming along. I have my social media links below. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. If you have any questions or page requests, please leave them below or reach out to me on social media. I put in a list of chapter breaks in the show notes as well as a list of equipment I like to use. If you use any of the affiliate links, it really helps me out without costing you a thing. I want to thank you all so much for coming along and joining in with me on this coloring journey. I appreciate all my subscribers and look forward to more of you joining in and coloring along with me. That will only happen if you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy coloring!